Now, the official inquiry into historical child sex abuse faces another delay after reports that the Home Secretary is considering disbanding the panel leading it.
It is without a chair after the first two people nominated to the role resigned. Now Theresa May is considering breaking up the body so it can be given more legal powers.
Well, with us to discuss this now is Peter Saunders from the National Association for People Abused in Childhood. Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
This is a move which is supported by a number of people like yourself. It takes us back to square one, doesn't it?
I don't think it actually does take us back to square one. I think the important thing was that we are having this inquiry. It's taken a long time to come, and we've met with Theresa May now on 3 separate occasions, pretty much over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it's very encouraging that she has listened to us, taken on board the concerns of survivors. And I haven't seen this letter that's been referred to today, and I wasn't a signatory to the other letter that is in the headlines, but I know it was signed by many friends and colleagues who perhaps weren't at the meeting that I was at with Theresa May earlier last week, where she made a firm commitment to seriously consider ramping up the inquiry to an inquiry with statutory powers, and in fact she said that, to be fair to her, our first meeting when she came to the NAPAC offices, she said that she would likely agree to that were she to be asked. I think the Home Office have now agreed that they have got it quite spectacularly wrong in a number of ways, but they've apologised. Theresa May has given us an awful lot of time and patience, and we told her weeks ago that if she gets the decision right about the way forward with this inquiry, she would have the support of survivors and survivor organisations up and down the country, and I believe she'll get that now.
So many survivors will have waited years for any type of inquiry, or particularly for this type of inquiry. So the fact that it will put things back another, I mean, who knows how long? That's not the most important thing.
Well, it isn't the most important thing in the timeline. I think what is important is that we do need to get it going as soon as possible, if indeed that she's made the decision to change the status, which I hope and believe that she probably has. But what is important, and she said this herself, is that we get it right. And it can be stopped, and it can be started again very, very quickly, but there's no point in having the inquiry if it doesn't have the full confidence of survivors and the many survivor
You mentioned
organisations.
statutory powers. What does that mean?
I'm not a lawyer, Bill, as you know, and we've discussed these sort of issues before. My understanding is that it means that the inquiry can compel witnesses to come forward and organisations to come forward and to speak under oath, which means they have to tell the truth, otherwise there is a criminal sanction against them. And I think we also have to remember, and again, you know, there are so many people commenting about this issue at the moment, but at the heart of it, it's the image of the child behind your shoulder, Bill, the child that has been abused. We have seen systematic cover-ups and denials and the most appalling betrayals of children in this country going to the very highest levels of government, and it simply has to stop. And I do trust Theresa May when she said that she is determined to get to the root truth of these issues, and she has my and many other people's backing on this very important decision she may be about to make.
How important is sort of transparency and clarity for survivors? Absolutely essential. Child abuse, again, as we've discussed many times here, is an utter betrayal of the worst kind. I can't think of a worse. And you know, this is Christmas week. We're about to celebrate, some of us, the birth of Christ. And one of the things that Jesus said was, "Woe betide anybody who hurts children." And this is what it's all about. We can't undo. And many of my friends and colleagues who are survivors of abuse, we can't turn the clock back and undo what was done to us. But my Lord, can we make a big difference to ensure that these kinds of crimes are minimised in the future? And if there are perpetrators out there now, and there are witnesses and there is evidence to corroborate their crimes, whoever they are, they must be brought before the courts.
Peter, thanks very much.
Thank you. Happy Christmas.